All right, here we are. We are live, and welcome to Florida. We're going to jump right into it. So we got Charlie Crist, Nikki Fried for the governor of Florida. We got 59.8%, 93% in. We got 59.8% for Crist, 35.2 for Nikki Fried. Fried has won only a couple counties today, and the size of the lead for Crist is pretty big in the counties that Fry needed. Let's go down to the House right quick. We got Matt Gaetz, Mark Lombardo, no relation to the nominee from Nevada governor. Gaetz wins handily. Coy Mills defeats Anthony Sabanti by 10,000 votes. All right. The 10th, Frost Reeds. In the 13th, Luna wins the Republican primary. And that is about it so far. All right, we have Dante joining us again, like he has all year. So, welcome, Dante.
Hello, it's good to be back here. I'm glad to become a regular guest in the rotation.
Uh, Dante.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so welcome to the stream.
It's good. Yeah, it's good to be back.
All right, so we got here Florida. Since we weren't live when the polls closed, can you briefly explain what was going on here?
Well, yeah. Most of the focus was on the primary for governor between Charlie Crist and Nikki Fried, the Democratic primary to take on Ron DeSantis. But there were also a number of House races taking place across the state, including many incumbent issues. I was just insulted by a friend,
Uh,
horrified.
all right, so let's go over to. We have Oklahoma now. I'm going to use. I did lose my New York Times uh subscription, so I'm using uh CNN for uh the Democratic primary for Oklahoma and all that stuff, and the regular uh primary elections in New York. No, whoa. Um. All right. No thanks. All right. Hello, Dante. Are you here?
Yep. Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. So can you explain the Oklahoma Senate special?
Well, yes. So, longtime Senator Jim Inhofe is retiring at the end of this year. He was just reelected in 2020, so there will need to be a special election to fill out the rest of his term. The two candidates who advanced in the runoff here include Representative Mark Wayne Mullen, who currently represents Oklahoma's 2nd Congressional District, and T.W. Shannon, the former State House Speaker. So Mullen has been the frontrunner since the end of that primary, where he received about 44% to Shannon's around 18%. He was also endorsed by Trump in the time in between that, so he went into today as a pretty heavy favorite. There were some polls that seemed to suggest that this race might be closer than it was thought to be, but it looks like those polls were wrong, as Mullen has wafted to a pretty big victory here.
And Mullen has won by 2/3. All right, so what's going on here in the Democratic primary? We know it's not that big, but can you explain who this horn is? It the same uh horn that represented the fifth district, or is it a different horn? We have some people had it difficulty thinking about this, and me included.
No, this is not the
This
horn
is for the
who
regular too.
represented. Yes, this is for the election against James Langford. No, this is not the Horn who represented the congressional district. That was Kendra Horn, who is running for the special election and was unopposed in that primary. This is I do not know who the background of Madison Horn. She's running for the seat. It's a safe red state, so you know.
See, yeah, but some people had confusion, me included on that, so we just had to clear that up. So we have New York closing in about 2 minutes. We'll start getting results from the special elections very soon. I cannot get the counting results like I used to, but we'll still bring you the results from that race
I
with
will
the
share the county
NBC one.
results.
Uh,
I'm told the most important
oh,
counties will be
nice. All
Ulster's
right.
Dutchess. Yeah, so only a couple minutes now then.
All right. So we got 40% in the Oklahoma race, and Mark Wayne Mullen doing very well, almost 67%. Shannon is only doing well in Cotton County, where he's almost Mullen could actually win this one, and he's also doing very sort of better in Comanche, but Mullen can also win that too and have a clean sweep.
Well, I
So
guess the
these
warning
are
prior
the
to New York
run-ups
polls closing.
offs from the June primaries.
The
What's
warning
going on in
prior
New
to
York?
the warning prior to the New York polls closing is that New York elections the past 2 years have taken quite a bit of time to decide. I don't know if you remember, but back in 2020, many of the close races and some of even the not so close races were not called for nearly a month after polls closed. So we could be waiting for a bit here to get clear results on some of these close elections, especially if say the special election ends up being close. Yeah, so we could be waiting for a bit
Yeah.
to see some results.
All right. So I last week I think was the Alaska and Wyoming primaries. Do we have any updates on Alaska right quick that you can update us on?
I will check. I was told, at least I saw, that there was going to be an update today, new votes released, but I have not seen anything that suggests that anything has been come out yet. It might come out later tonight, but
All right.
yeah, so we will see. It's worth remembering that Alaska polls close pretty late, so it's possible they will come out around then. We will see.
Yeah. Yeah. But that special there's two Alaska elections with basically the same candidates in that race. It was for the special and the regular. Whoever wins the special might only be in Congress for a few months because it they could lose the regular. Let it be Palin, the Democrat, Begich. They could all lose in November and be out of Congress in January.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting to see where the results come from. But from what we've been hearing, it sounds like the outstanding vote in the special is pretty overwhelmingly Democratic. So we'll see where Peltola ends up after round one. And polls have closed in New York. We could be waiting for a bit, but here we go. Andy, are you there? All right. It appears Andy had to go for a second. We are starting to get our first results out of New York. Now, I do not control the stream. I cannot take you to those first results, but we are getting some early here out of New York City. And we're getting a lot of results out of the 12th district, 71% in. And with that, all those votes in, Jerry Nadler and Carolyn Maloney, who are having one of the highest profile incumbent versus incumbent primaries in the country. Nadler leads 56 to 28. So that is basically what polls have been predicting. Suraj Patel, who had a couple near successful primary challenges against Maloney before redistricting, is in third place with about 16% of the vote, but doesn't look to be much of a factor. Now we will see 71% New York vote. That could be a lot of vote outstanding. We really do not know. Again, New York has a history of pretty weird elections and electoral systems. We will see. A couple other places where we are getting some votes in. The third district, where Tom Suozzi has retired. He went to run for governor. He failed, but so it is now an open seat. It will be competitive in the general election this year. So this features a few different candidates. Suozzi has endorsed, for his part, has backed Nassau County Legislature Josh Lafazan. Hopefully I pronounced it correctly. Lafazan is currently way back with only 12% of the vote and 7% reporting. The progressive in this race is agreed upon to be Mulaney de Arrigo, a community activist, and then there is a third candidate, Democratic National Committee member Robert Zimmerman, who is currently leading the pack, and in second right now with about 22% is John Kamen, former town of North Hempstead supervisor. So that's where we're at right now. And then finally, there's a very crowded primary in the 10th district. Currently, former federal prosecutor Daniel Goldman, who is the lead prosecutor on the Trump first impeachment case with the Ukraine thing. He currently leads with about 27%. There are a lot of candidates. There are 4 candidates getting over 15% of the vote here. One of these candidates is Mondaire Jones, who is currently a sitting House congressman, but his district, another Sean Patrick Maloney, was redistricted into his district. He decided to go down south to New York City, the heart of it. Isn't really working out for him. He's currently in third place, about 18%, and second is state assembly member Uline New. So we will see how that progresses. Still a lot of vote to go there as well.
Hey, all right. Hey, everyone, I'm back.
How's the truck?
I apologize. It was fun. It was just basically the taillights went out, and I had to fix it.
Cool.
The truck.
Case,
Who is this guy?
huh?
Who is the? All right. So who we got so far? So what we got so far in New York?
We've got some results coming in. There's some coming in from the 12th district where Jerry Nadler has a big lead in the early goings. There's some from 10. It seems like it's all the New York City districts right now. So
we got. Looks like Ryan's ahead pretty handily over Molinaro and the 19th.
I am not getting any results from the 19th yet. We will see. I have not
Well,
gotten anything from there
CNN
yet,
has
neither the
it.
specials.
I thought not CNN.
Thanks, CNN.
CNN. I'll put up CNN. Like,
Yeah, switch to New
yeah,
York because I
CNN
don't think we have
it
much left.
has the results right. Some results.
I don't think we have
Yeah, I'm
much
going into New
going
York
on in
right
the other
now.
states anymore.
This is the special right now. This is the special right now. All right, so we got this is the 19th. This is a this is a battleground district. So Dante, can you uh tell us what's going on here?
Well, this is the big special election this cycle, at least from what I've seen. So yeah, Representative Antonio Delgado, who has been a bit of an electoral giant in his 2 terms in Congress, he's heartily overperformed Democrats in both 2018 and in 2020, resigned to become lieutenant governor, leaving this seat open. Now, the seat is, despite the fact that it did vote for Joe Biden in 2020 and has the Democratic representative, the seat is actually still overall Republican leaning. It's got a partisan lean of about R+4, so it is a Republican leaning district, but not to a major extent. But of course, when Delgado resigned, Republicans decided this is a prime flip opportunity. They recruited Dutchess County Executive Mark Molinaro to run in this district. He's a very strong candidate. Back when he ran for governor in 2018, he won this district by about 11 points. He's actually going to be in Congress potentially in some form. He's currently running in the new version of the 19th district. So we will see what happens there. He's facing another guy who's currently running in the new New York 18th, Pat Ryan. So Pat Ryan is the Ulster County executive, and he is the Democrat who is trying to kind of finish this off. So it looks like our first results are coming in from Otsego County. Ryan, I'm actually going to pull up the 2020 results from this district. I don't want to pull up the Delgado results, so I'm just going to pull up the presidential election because Delgado was such an insane overperformer that I can't really compare it to him. So Otsego County, it's very, very, very early.
So
Otsego County was a Trump county. It's very, very early. It's just 19% in. But Otsego County was a Trump county, so that's
all right.
something to consider.
The past two special elections this year, Democrats have over the past two special elections. The Democrats have very well overperformed, like by double digits, because of the Dobbs decision.
Yeah, post Dobbs, it's been very interesting to see Democrats overperform by quite a bit in a lot of very close elections. And yeah, we will see what happens here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in New York's 23rd congressional district as well. Now we will see. I'm going to guess that just like in this district, the early returns there will be, lean Democratic because of early vote. Time gets in, it's going to narrow, of course. I do think you might want to watch there. That's about an R+15 district based on the partisan lean we have. R+15 is the same amount that Nebraska 1 is, and Democrats only lost Nebraska 1 by 5. So if you're watching for what a performance in this district that would be in line with what we've seen so far, you'd probably be looking for, maybe single digits, which sounds unlikely, but that's what you'd be looking for.
I'll show you the current New York 23. It's pretty close right now. Pia is 41 ahead of Sempinolsky, but obviously there's no hardly any results here.
Yeah, still way too early in both these to make too
And
many
Pat
statements.
Ryan looks like so. What? All right. So could you get out the county map for this
I have them both
race
up.
when it gets going? Because we got about only have the Democratic areas then. All right.
Yeah, no, it's still way too early to make any big claims. It looks like progressives might end up shooting themselves in the foot here in the New York 10th race. So there was one candidate, Dan Goldman, who took up the moderate lane. That's the former prosecutor I've been talking about, who was part of the Trump's first impeachment. Three progressives, Uline New, who's a state assemblyman, Representative Mondaire Jones, who as of right now looks like he's about to lose his bid for re-election, albeit his bid in a new district, and New York City Council
He
member
was
Caroline
the
Rivera.
he was the counsel for the House Intelligence Committee, I think.
Yeah, he was the counsel. So Goldman has run a pretty moderate campaign, and as you can see, he's got 20. He's got about 28% of the vote right now. Here are the three
A
progressives.
completely new district, I think.
The progressives. Here are the three progressives vote share combined. They combine for about 55%. So this might end up being a big case of shooting yourself in the foot there. We'll see what happens.
All right.
And as for the reports from New York 17th, Sean Patrick Maloney leads 77 to 23 in the first few returns. Under 2,000 votes reported, but we'll see. So I'm hearing some pretty good things about Pat Ryan's performance in New York 19,
All right.
but it's going to be close, it sounds like. Well, and I just saw something. NBC has called it for Jerry Nadler in the 12th district. He defeats Carolyn Maloney.
All right.
So that's the next incumbent to lose. And Carolyn Maloney's 30 years in Congress will come to an end at the hand of another guy who has been in Congress 30 years. They were both elected in 92. Nadler took office a couple months earlier because his seat was vacant
What?
at the time of the general election.
What?
Oh, they were both elected in 1992, but Nadler took office a couple months earlier because his seat was vacant in November.
Your mic went out for a bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I think you gotta repeat the whole thing.
Oh, well, did you hear that? I said they called it for Jerry Nadler.
Oh, yeah. Is
Yeah.
that what you only thing you said?
No, I talked about how Jerry Nadler and
And
Carolyn
yeah,
Maloney were elected at the same time.
and wow, this is actually a pretty good performance.
Yeah, Nadler is blowing it out of the water. If you're wondering how that math works, there's a third guy who's getting about 17% of the vote. So that's why there's issues. I do not know what just happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Well, uh, I'm gonna go, and I think maybe we'll start a new stream, hopefully, and hopefully y'all can attend that as well.
Hey, yo, I'm back. All right, so I got kicked out by my Wi-Fi for some reason. I hope so. We're going back to New York. Oh my God, Bowman. All right, so very, very good results right now for Pat Ryan. Wow, Pia is doing very well right here. All right, so in New York Free, Zimmerman and Kamen. Zimmerman is in the lead. Gillen and so Jeffries and Johnson. Jeffries has won. All right, so New York 10, Goldman in the U. Goldman is ahead by a couple, is ahead by only 3.2, 3.8, sorry. Rose has won. Nadler is 30 points ahead of Maloney. Espillat wins against Hanno. Bowman is destroying his opponents. He's at 92. Sean Patrick Maloney is ahead in his race. Pat Ryan is ahead in the new New York 18. Riley's ahead in the new New York 19. Tonko has won his race. Castelli is in the lead here in New York 21. In New York 22, this is the new Catco district. Clevewood Hood is ahead here. And Higgins wins here in New York 26. And I think Dante is back. Yes, he is. All right, so
I am
Dante.
back.
All right. So we just went over all the Democratic primaries.
Yep.
Whoa! I don't know what just happened, but Della Pia just
It,
went from
it's
59 to 71.
it is all going according to plan. You know what, I gotta say this just quickly about Delapia. Max Delapia, he follows me on Twitter, so I gotta say I'm rooting for him to pull this one out. I know it's unlikely. I usually don't show bias on stream, but I gotta say I'm rooting for him because it would be cool to have a congressman following me. So
I thought
I
you
do. I
had a
do.
congressman.
I think Sean Castron used to follow me, but now he doesn't.
You also had that guy from Hawaii follow you, or was that the
Yes,
lieutenant governor?
Josh Green. He was the lieutenant governor, but he just won the primary, so he is going to be governor pretty soon. So that is cool.
I have no followers on Twitter. Oh, but my friends follow me on Twitter because I haven't made my presence known.
Yeah. Okay. What's going on in what's going on in 19? Okay.
All right, so we got the
Pat Ryan's holding. It's
Democrats are
very.
doing
It
very well
is
right now.
so early. It is so early.
Yeah, but Democrats are overperforming right now.
I want to
But
keep that up. What
yeah,
just happened in NY19 that you're seeing is Dutchess absentees came in. Dutchess County might decide this election. So here let's discuss it a bit. In 2020, Joe Biden won Dutchess County by 10 points, 54 to 44%. But Mark Molinaro, who's the Republican candidate here, is the executive of Dutchess County. So he has a home base in the district, in the county. So if he wins, it will be because he overperforms here, most likely. This is the area that could decide it. Now, right now, 36% in. It has Pat Ryan 74 to 26. I'm gonna guess that's absentees. I think that's a fair assumption right now, right?
yeah, I think so. That's the same for 23. I think as well.
Remember, these are basically all early votes being reported right now, so that's why nothing's been called, and that's why I would definitely kind of be slow as we wait for stuff to come in.
Yeah,
But definitely encouraging early votes for Democrats so far.
yeah, they're definitely winning this. And plus, New York is very pro-choice here, and if if any indication of Dobbs still staying around, that's a good sign.
Well, the absentees for Democrats are so far going as you'd want them to. Ulster County, where Pat Ryan is the executive in New York 19, he's winning that 80 to 20. I don't know how much Biden won there by. Let's see. I believe it's a blue county. Biden won that 60 to 39. So we will see. And again,
Ooh,
remember, Joe Biden won this district, so you can extrapolate his results for this district. Joe Biden narrowly carried this district. He did very well in upstate New York, much better than Hillary Clinton had a few years prior. This was a Trump to Biden district. Trump in 2016, Biden in 2020. generally Republican leaning, but close. So only absentees in so far. I'm assuming. I'm not sure. I'm assuming only early votes in. You expect those to favor Democrats. This is going to be a close race, I think.
All right. Do you have the county map up for
I
this
do.
district?
So of the counties we haven't so far, let's see what's reporting.
Can
Uh,
you share it?
I don't know how I would through
All
my
right.
phone.
Oh,
Dave Wasserman just tweeted, "Beware the blue mirage in New York, in which lopsidedly pro-Dem absentee votes reported now will be offset by much redder E-Day votes tallied later." Actually, I will say this: if you go to Decision Desk, they won't give you a county map, but they will give you individual county results.
yeah. But so all the talk in 2020 was how big was the red mirage? Like, how big
Yeah.
would it be?
So right now it's about the blue mirage.
But if what you're saying is true and they're overperforming in the absentees, that is a great sign for Democrats.
So that New York 10 race, 86% in, and it is now narrowed to a 3-point race between Goldman and New.
Uh,
So we could be in for one
is
there. Looks like Mondaire Jones is out for the count.
all right. There was an on their former congresswoman that was running after 40 years out of politics.
Yeah, Elizabeth Holtzman. And you know what? For an 80-year-old who's been out of politics for 40 years, 5% is not bad. I mean, you'd think Bill de Blasio might get more than 1% based on name recognition, but he's got less than 1% right now. Of course, he's not in the race. He dropped out, but Jerry Nadler is wow. People like Jerry Nadler.
More than Maloney, I guess.
That was that. Well, there was so much, I think, excitement around that race and how close it could end up being. And
We had
Nadler's showing out.
it
Of
looked
course,
like it was to be a freeway race.
I will say this: Suraj Patel. I don't know whose votes he is taking. He's got 18% right now. It's possible many of those would have been Maloney votes. I really couldn't tell you.
I think most of them could have been Maloney.
He did run against Maloney in 2020, and he actually was, I think, just lost by maybe a couple percentage points. He nearly won. Looks like Sean Patrick Maloney is fine, although if they're only reporting absentees right now, I don't know how that could potentially impact it. That could closen up. It's not like a strong performance as far as incumbents go. He's only at like 60%, but it looks like he'll probably be at least survive, you know?
I don't think writing chairman of a congressional campaign committee has ever lost in the primary.
So in New York 23, for the new New York 23, this is a very nasty Republican primary. So the candidate Republicans are running in the current 23rd special election is not running for a full term. So they have Carl Palladino and Nick Langworthy. This has been one of the wilder elections. So Chris Jacobs, who got redistricted into here, dropped out after coming out in support of an assault weapons ban in the wake of Uvalde.
And he supported the bipartisan bill.
That was so unpopular that he dropped out. So now you have Langworthy and Palladino. Now Langworthy is the chair of the New York GOP. Palladino is a real estate developer who's had a few political campaigns. And yeah, they both just have as controversial of histories as you can really get. Let me look at some of the things I've got about them. I made a small list. That's stuff to mention about this race. Langworthy has dipped in. So right now the results: Palladino up 57-43. So it's again early. That's the thing I'm going to keep.
Jerry Nadler has just won.
They called it for him.
Yeah, I followed this Instagram page that called U.S. Elections. Go check them out. They put like almost everything, and they just called it for Nadler. They used their graphics are basically like the NBC graphics.
Okay, cool. So I found my spiel about New York 23. So Langworthy was one of the first Trump supporters in the New York state, and Trump has not endorsed in this race, by the way. But Palladino is in many ways, who's currently winning, is in many ways the original Trump. He ran for governor in 2010, in which he threatened reporters and was accused of making multiple sexist and homophobic comments. He served on the Buffalo School Board before being removed after making racist comments about Michelle Obama. He has been endorsed by Elise Stefanik and Matt Gatz. And it's a safe Republican district, so if he wins, he's in the House.
So there's also another person who you think has lost in Florida that you say that might could have been worse than Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, Laura Loomer, yeah, she did lose.
And she was running against Webster, right?
Yeah.
So she has been banned from Twitter, I think every social media platform, and CPAC. She was that bad.
Yeah, no, that would have been pretty wild.
So what you didn't say in the chat, but because you think you would be what because of the some of the things he said, like you said that she was acclaimed Islamophobic.
Yeah, proud. She has called herself a proud Islamophobe. I've just heard reports that the mules have been deployed in the New York special elections.
The mule? What?
The 1,000 mules.
What the hell?
Wasserman has called it for Sean Patrick Maloney. We have an Alaska update.
Oh,
We have an
alright.
Alaska update. Here are the numbers. Patola, 39.37%. Palin, 30.97%. Begich, 28.13%. Write-in, 1.53%. And if you're wondering why I mentioned write-in, those count as in the ranked choice.
Oh, alright. Al Gross dropped out too.
Yeah, Al Gross dropped out. So,
He did pretty well against Sullivan 2 years ago.
He did okay, although I think in retrospect he underperformed expectations.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a small update. We'll get our next one on Friday.
Oh wow! All right.
It'll be our second update, and then August 31st is going to be the final set of votes come in.
And then they'll start the ranked choice voting.
Yep, they'll start the ranked. They'll probably start with eliminating write-in. It's worth noting Tara Sweeney, who came in fifth, who was a moderate Republican, ran the big write-in campaign for this seat.
Mm-hmm.
So her voters might have put Begich second if they ranked second. If it's close between Begich and Palin, write-ins could actually matter in this race.
All right, so Ryan is ahead by 8,000 votes here in this district here, ahead of Molinaro. This could be good for Democrats. 71% of the write-in, not the absentee. If this is all absentee, that is pretty good.
Well, it's still very, very early, and that's all I'll say. How's he doing this primary for this other seat he's running for? Because he's running for the new 18. Oh yeah, he's winning. He's got 89%. He's fine. Yeah, because he's running for the new 18th district. So he could very well end up in Congress regardless. Now the new 18th is going to be a close race, so I won't say for sure, but so it looks like right now to me over 95% in. It looks like Dan Goldman is going to barely hang on, and if you're a progressive, you got to think that you missed an opportunity with this one.
Yeah. So right here, I'm going to go down to Tom Reed, the old 23. This is PS doing not as well as the Democrats are in the 19th, but this is a 3,000 vote lead here.
Well, that's even earlier. There's less than 6,000 votes here. And a lot of these counties, they have them ahead on my New York Times map or Trump counties. So I'm gonna guess that this is literally every bit of this is absentee. Like Tompkins County, where he's got 92% of the vote, is the one Dem county. Actually, you know what? If he's going to overperform, 92% would not be a big overperformance for Tompkins. I think Biden got like 80% there or something. Just talking off the top of my head, but.
My guy, are you in the car?
No.
You just must have a very loud air conditioner.
Okay, so I'm back.
All right, so
I
we
am.
got. I'm gonna go down to the Republican results here. So let's see, and
So
they have
I'm
Cody
looking
Fornatter
at
in this race.
I'm looking at Schoharie County, where it appears it appears to be the one place that has finished counting in New York 19. It looks like Moralino has won it by about 31.7%. Trump won it by 29%. Joe Biden won New York 19 by 1.5%. You combine all three of those numbers, you get like this is going to be really close.
So
It's
we got
good
more
for
results in New York
it's good for
for
Marlon,
19.
but I don't know if it's a big enough overperformance to win the district.
So he overperformed Trump by
About
10.
two and a half.
Oh wow, that is bad. That you need a little bit more if he is overperforming. And oh wow, Garbin era. New York. Look at New York 2 Republican. It's just 1% in, but wow.
So it's about 69.2 to 30.8. It's a little less than it was about 1% ago.
All right.
It's going to be slow.
All right. So Garbinero, the congressman in New York 2, is currently only winning by 6 in his district, but it is very early. Only about 200 votes counted. And the new New York 23, Paulino is winning by 1,800.
Sorry if I've gotten
1,800
silent.
votes.
I'm like reading stuff now.
All right. We got a rematch from 2 years ago. We got Mario Takis and Max Rose.
I saw that Max Rose was up by a bunch in his primary. What did they do to that district in redistricting? Is it like still pretty Republican, or did it get closer?
I think. Let me get it up, Polo. I gotta get it up on the 538 map. All right. All right. So the old New York
Unfortunate
11
news.
was
It appears that
Republic.
Delapia is going down in margin a bit here, so this one may not happen. He's still up by quite a bit, so maybe he can still overperform.
All right. So New York 11, the current one is R plus 15, and on the new map it is R
Okay,
plus
so I just
11. It got a little bit closer, but it doesn't matter here.
okay, so I got a guy who's doing baselines for the New York for what would be like a dead even race. This the
Mm.
underperformance in Schoharie County, the change in margin is like 0.30%. This is going to be a really close race if this keeps
Ooh.
holding. And this is the Trumpiest place in the district. So we will see. This should be fun. Throwback to, the many of the elections during the Trump presidency.
John Katko's district actually got more Republican in redistricting.
Did it?
Yeah, it went from R plus 4, D plus 4 to D plus 2.
Hmm. Okay, so if you want a number to, so I gave you a number to be maybe not optimistic about, but at least happy about if you're, Molinaro with his slight overperformance of Trump in that deep red county. Now I'm going to give you a couple good numbers for Ryan. So in Ulster County, this is Pat Ryan's home base. He's getting about 80% of the early vote. Obviously, that will go down. Joe Biden got about 77% of the early vote there in 2020 when he won the district. Otsego, Ryan's got about 73% of the early vote. Biden got about 69% there in 2020, again, when he won the district. I'm just giving you numbers. I'm not making predictions, but those are numbers that you'd like to see if you're Ryan.
All right. So right now, this is a very close place in New York 19. New York 23 looks like it will be a Republican hold because
We'll
it
slow it
is
down there. We'll see exactly what, and I will say with New York 18, it was always going to be all about like kind of the margin there exactly. I don't think anyone was expecting Democrats to, win that at any point.
yeah.
So it's really going to be all about what is the final margin there. I think you would assume that if Democrats are winning New York 19, they're probably coming within maybe single digits in 23, which is a red district, but maybe not as red as some people think it is, because it's basically all upstate New York. We'll see. They're still very early.
Yeah.
Delapia is up by about 20. His margin's going to start going down as the same day vote comes in. But maybe he'll
Pat Ryan
overperform.
is now Pat Ryan now has 15,000 votes with the early vote compared to Molinaro's 7,200.
Yeah, a red county just came in. He is overperforming Biden there, it seems like, though, so far. So we'll see. As I've said repeatedly, this is really going to be. So Dutchess County. So back to Dutchess County because I looked around, and it turned out so I said Biden won at 54-44 earlier, but the NY19 portion of it he won 51-47. So there's a good chance that Molinaro is able to flip this and overperform Trump there, and by that basically win it. So if you're Ryan, you're looking for the other places you can overperform. And you're really looking at Otsego and Ulster right now as those places where you might be able to overperform.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it feels like it's been a while since we've had like a really good special election. I think maybe the last one was the Georgia runoffs.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Texas 34 was pretty good. Texas the one
Texas
that
34
just
was up in
flipped.
the air for a little while, but it became, I think Republicans ended up winning it by like 10 points.
Yeah, Mara
It didn't end
Flores
up
will
that
probably
close.
lose in November.
And of course, it's worth noting that Nebraska won and Minnesota won were both close, but I don't think anyone expected Democrats to win those districts. I certainly remember being kind of shocked about Nebraska won. That's a district we were talking about, like, back in 2020 when it looked like Biden might like win with like 400 electoral votes. That was bad. That was the last time I talked about that district. Joe Biden is going to flip Nebraska one.
Yeah, Nebraska one is pretty shocking to me.
But by the time Minnesota
It's
one
pretty
came around, I
shocking,
was
but
kind of like plugged into what was happening. I
obviously
still
people were outraged due to the what's it called the
Dobbs ruling.
scandal that Fortenberry got.
Oh yeah, the Fortenberry scandal probably did not help Republicans there.
So Dobbs,
Yeah, so it's
yeah,
not
Fortenberry was
it's
very unpopular when he resigned.
yeah, you got to be clear about some of like the special circumstances and special elections. Like Minnesota won. Yes, Democrats overperformed. It is also true that it is still more Democratic down ballot. I believe Tim Walz won it when he ran for governor in 2018, even as Republicans flipped it. So there's stuff to acknowledge. What is going on? Oh man, and New York 10 is down to 1 point with over 95% in, and the votes keep
All right,
coming
let
in.
me
So
take a look at it.
this is going to be so close, and there are so many candidates.
All right, they have it at 1% with 89% here in on the
I'm
CNN
actually
count.
hearing that 88% is more accurate. So yeah, you're probably right. I think New York Times might be kind of washed. I'm hearing a
New
lot of
York
like
Times
things on.
is
I'm hearing a lot of things on Twitter. This might have been, if there were any time to lose your subscription, Beto, this might have been it.
yeah.
Max Rose has declared victory in his primary. I'm gonna go check what happened to his district because I can't remember if I have it like safe red or safe Democrat.
It got more democratic. It went from R plus 13 to R plus 11.
Oh, I have it as likely Republican. That sounds about right. R plus 11,
But
yeah.
honestly, it was almost Mario Takas was almost screwed. Remember how the gerrymandered New York district?
Yeah,
How
that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking that they'd gotten her, but I guess they overturned it.
yeah they overturned it in March. This is why we have the house map the house races today instead of back in June.
Let's see. There's more votes in. I think DVHQ has more votes in, so I might switch to this.
Oh wow, Nadler is going to have about 56% to 24 for Maloney. All
And
right, so
DVHQ has a lot more votes for.
Bowman has officially won. He has won by 36%.
Yep. Yeah, a good result for him.
All right, we got Pat Ryan has officially won his race in the new district 18. All right, so the race to replace Zeldin, La Lota is ahead of Bond by about 1,500 votes.
Yeah, that's an interesting race. Loloto was the front runner for most of the campaign. Bond got in pretty late and then started just kind of blasting. So we'll see.
All right, Garbonero had looked down early, but he is now up 61 to
Yeah.
29.
Might have been a miscount. I think earlier in Florida, Michael Waltz was down by like 70 in the first results, and then they switched it.
Michael Walt. Wow, is that
So
the one
that's
of
like some backbencher incumbent.
yeah. All right, so we still have not seen who will challenge AOC for or Cuellar. All right, and in 22 to replace Cacto, Williams is ahead by 13. In the new 23rd, Pauladino is ahead by 16.
So 27K in 23, 39K in
19.
19. It looks to be more of the New York 19 than New York 23 in. They're both still up. Here we go.
All right, Ryan is ahead, has 67% of the early vote here in the 19th. He has 20,000 to 10,000, and 23rd it is 15,000 to 9,000.
Well, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, but I don't have anywhere to go yet, so I'm going to stick around. See where this goes.
Apparently 44% in the 19th. Wow. And Ryan
DDHQ
has
shows 70% in, so
whoa.
I'm just going
All
to tell
right.
yeah, things are getting crazy.
All right. So what is the vote count from DDHQ?
So DDHQ estimated 70%. New York is weird. 41,000 votes counted. Ryan has 25,000. Molinaro has 16,000. That's 60 to 40 basically. And let's I'm gonna go to New York 10 real quick because it seems like stuff's happening. New York 10. It is. Yep. It's getting closer. It's getting even closer. There's gonna
Oh
be some
wow.
barn.
It is now point .9. It is now 582 votes between Goldman and
There's
Niu.
gonna be some barn burners here. Mondaire Jones really did. Mondaire Jones really did all this to come in third, man.
He didn't want to face Maloney. I do not know who won that
You
one,
know,
but
like I gotta say, just looking at how Biaggi's done, I think he might have beaten Maloney. I mean, Biaggi was underfunded, undersupported, and she's got like 30. She's getting over 30%. I really think Mondaire
uh,
Jones might have beaten Maloney if he decided to run. Meanwhile, the race to replace Susie, it looks like it's going to be Robert Zimmerman, who was the establishment pick. Susie's endorsed a guy who's coming in third right now, so there you go.
all right. It is 67-33 with the CNN count here in New York.
Yeah, so as for New York 23, DDHQ has about 29K votes in. They're saying that's about an estimated 59%.
So
And
DDHQ is running a little bit
they
ahead
have it
of
about
New
60 to
York
40
CNN.
Delapia. And we are getting results in from Dutchess County. This is going to be the big one.
All right. It is 22,000 to 10,019 right now.
Stop the count. Stop the count.
I don't think we um
What else do we got going on? It might just be these three at this point. You looking at anything?
all right. So we got oh so right now in the all right, so this is from NBC. They only have 33% in they have the same amount as CNN. So I think DDHQ is going a little bit ahead here.
Yeah, who knows what's going on anymore. New York elections are always going to be bizarro, I think is the point. Okay, so Pat Ryan has dipped below 60 with about 75% in. I
That's from DDHQ.
Yeah, that's what I got in DDHQ. So I don't know when the
They have
Molinaro votes are going to come in.
them
I
at
know they're going to, and like this race is
65
going to get very close. I just don't know when they're going to come
on
in. I can't. So
the CNN
should I look at
24
CNN
to
just so
12.
I'm going to look at CNN just so we're connected here. Well, the first thing I see on CNN is they just called it for Sean Patrick Maloney. So there you go. Okay. So I'm on CNN. I've got 3 election sites up now because you think Oklahoma having 2 different horns on the ballot in November will confuse anybody there? You'd think not, but voters can get confused about the darndest stuff. So, oh yeah, New York Times. Yeah, CNN has. Wait, does CNN? CNN might have the same amount of votes, but different percentages, and if so, that's really confusing. Okay, CNN has a little less votes, and it looks like they have Democrats up by more right now. I'm gonna stick with DDHQ just because I don't know it is usually reliable in these times. We are starting to get E-Day, folks. We're just waiting. Precincts are reporting from Ulster and Dutchess, which are our 2 big counties. That's where the focus is. And we're going to see. You know, so if you're looking for what do you want to see for Democrats, Republicans here? For Republicans, the general agreement has been that Molinaro, you want to see him win by more than 3 points. If it's closer than 3 points, it's a bit of a rough margin. Now, what I'm seeing right now, I still think Molinaro pulls it out by a very narrow margin. I think it'll be close, but I do think he narrowly wins it. Do I think he gets over the 3 percentage points that people are looking at right now? I don't know. That's tough to say. That's tough to say. And it's still very early, still mostly early votes. Molinaro's base is still going to be coming in.
All
And
right.
it's really, this is
All
when
right.
we're
I
going to
think
have
I
to
got
wait and
it.
see.
All right. So I got it. All right. So more votes have come in the 19. I got it. All right. So votes. So here we go. It is now under 10,000. It is 6248 Ryan right now. So what you got?
Let's see. I'm hearing there are 10% scanners left to report in NY10. And it's
And
currently a separation of about 800 votes.
is Goldman, right? Goldman.
Goldman has actually done better in some of the later things.
All right.
And I don't know what we are looking at here in New York 10. Sorry, in any of these races, really.
It is just under 10,000 votes in New York 19. And Della Pia is, I think, is about to fall under 60 here in the 23rd.
Yeah, DDHQ has him fallen under quite a bit under 60. He's at around 56 now.
And all right, NBC is, I think, around, yeah, I think DDHQ is pretty much far ahead. So,
It's the 1,000 mules beta. I'm telling you.
1,000 mules.
Well, they snuck in 1,000 mules with votes on them. I think this is pretty clearly a rigged election.
Rigged. Hold on, don't say that, man. Don't get me banned here.
Okay, you know what, Andy? I got to tell you this. They let you see some of these YouTube personalities they let talk. You're
Yeah.
good. You're good. I could genuinely say the election was rigged, and I would not get in trouble with YouTube. With where we're at.
The people like Red Eagle.
Yeah, I
I think
could
yeah.
sit down. I could sit down here and seriously call the 2020 election rigged, and nothing would happen to me. Okay, so it is starting to get closer here with about 86% in estimated according to DDHQ. We're about 50,000 votes. I'm talking all NY19 here. It is 57 to 58 to 42 Pat Ryan. So that is starting to decrease by a decent amount. Here we go.
And that's DDHQ. I think we got. I think new CNN has yet to update. I'll reload and see if it updated. All right. I'm gonna update our viewers on the Oklahoma and Florida races right quick. We got here in Oklahoma. I think it is a clean sweep for Mark Wayne Mullen County. All right. In New York 23, De La Pia has fallen under 60% here.
Yeah, they've had him under 60% for a bit.
Well, with 82%, 90% in 867 votes between Goldman and you.
Yeah, it's a barn burner. Mondaire Jones has got to be feeling
All right,
pretty rough right now.
we got our nominees for the new. He is the first incumbent since last week to lose the first Democrat bit to lose nation primary since Schrader in Oregon.
Yeah, we've lost a few incumbents tonight. Although I think less than we could have.
I think we only lost Mondaire Jones today.
Mondaire Jones
and Maloney, but Maloney is.
I mean, in his own way, Mondaire Jones is out
for a sec, but
Mondaire Jones was pushed out because of redistricting too. Well, Laura Loomer has said that voter fraud cost her the primary against Daniel Webster. So do with that what you will.
Bruh. And what was the margin in that race?
I think it was like maybe 6-7 points by the end. It looked really close for a while, and then Webster pulled ahead pretty heartily by the end. It was closer than it should have been, maybe.
7 points.
Yeah. I don't think you can fraud 6-7%.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. 91% in. It is 56 to 43. And I will say this. when it got to like 90% in NY10, it started taking like like 2,000 votes suddenly, which that would have been like 10% earlier, started to account for like 1%. So there's a chance that like things completely slow down now.
All right. Yeah, Maloney has won his race. Pat Ryan it will be going to November. Uh,
Yeah, I think
whoever wins, if
three.
Molinaro wins tonight, his Democratic challenger will be Riley. All right. Hey Dante, can you hold fort right quick? I'm gonna go recharge.
Okay. So yep.
I almost ended broadcast, but can you hold the fort right quick? I gotta
Yeah.
recharge.
Yeah, I'm working.
All right.
The votes keep coming in, and we are just trying to cover them as best we can. So still a lot we don't know. Still a lot that's early. This race is getting tighter, and it will be a tight one. As for an update on New York 23, they're estimating about 85% in there. Delapia still leads, but his lead is a bit smaller than Ryan's is right now. You can probably anticipate that his lead will start to dissipate pretty soon. With this, let's take a look at what's going on in New York 10, because we don't have a lot of other stuff going on at this point. It's kind of down to these three races. Still very close, but it does look like the votes coming in have been boosting Goldman a bit, so I think he's in a pretty good spot here. So we're really just down to this special election. So looks like results from Dutchess County are not good for Pat Ryan. You expected Molinaro would overperform here, and this race is already virtually tied, and we do not. And there's still and election day precincts are still coming in, so this could end up being a rough one for him. Remember, we expected him to underperform here, or we should say we expected Molinaro to overperform here because this is where he's from. It's going to be up to Ryan to find those votes in other parts of the district. He's up around 51 to 48 right now. Remember, it was around 51 to 47 in November. Going to go back to New York Times and see what they've got going here. I feel like maybe the fact they have less votes in right now, and I feel like that might be more accurate. So I'm going to use New York Times for a bit here. If you're looking for a place that Matt Ryan, that Ryan could potentially get those votes back, it would have to be Ulster County. That's the place you're really looking at if you're wondering where is he going to be able to overperform, where is he going to get those votes if he's going to win. Otsego County is the other one. Those are the two places you're looking at. He's got to overperform there to win the race. And honestly, if we're going out here right now, Ulster and Dutchess County, these two places might. This is the thing that intrigues me. Ulster and Dutchess could potentially kind of end up being a wash. You know, I don't know exactly how much Biden won the Ulster County portion of this district by. I know Ryan is currently winning it by more than he did. I said how much he won the Dutchess County race by. Ryan is currently winning it less by than he did. If by all means Molinaro looks like he's going to win Dutchess County, maybe by a decent amount. So we'll see. We'll see, man. This is tight. Update on New York 23. This is about 52% in. Delape is still up, but it is worth noting here. Check out the county here in New York. Looks like Republicans are going to win it by about 19 points. Trump won by about 20 there in 2020. So consistent with a 2020 performance for Democrats. That bad for Democrats or good for or bad for Republicans? You can be the judge of that, I would say. Here we go, folks. Votes continuing to come in. They're saying about 50% from New York 19. Don't know how accurate any of this is. We are going through a bit of a lull. If you guys want my predictions, not sure what I'm going to say about MY23. I just don't know enough about the specifics of the district to make a prediction there. I think Molinaro wins by maybe about 2 points, which is, I mean, it's good for Republicans because they're flipping a seat. On the other hand, it's a little less than maybe what you were looking for if you were looking for evidence of a big red wave, you know? Because red wave, you'd think he'd be winning by maybe more than 4 points, I would say. But still, it does narrow. I think Republicans would need to flip only 4 House seats if they get this one. So even if this isn't a big red wave this year, Republicans are still very well positioned to flip the House, and they're still well positioned in the Senate as well. We'll see.
All right. Hey, I'm back. I think I got enough charge to carry us for the rest of the stream. So let's get back up and running.
So the Dutchess and Ulster County are just going right at it now. It looks like Molinaro is going to win Dutchess County by about the same amount he did in his bid for governor, which is like 7 to 8. Pat Ryan's overperforming Biden in Ulster County. Uh, I still think Molinaro wins this race by a very narrow margin. That's still my prediction, just with what I'm seeing so far.
All right. 60, 69. What's the margin over there on DDHQ?
I'm switched back to NYT. All right, I have to go. I held it as long as I could, but I do have to go. I'll see you in a bit.
All right. So right here we got. So we got here Ryan here 34,844. Molinaro 27 to 89. Delapia is her margin is slowing down, coming down a lot. I'm gonna go over some of the other races for you. All right, so Troy Chris. So we got Charlie Crist ahead 59.8 to 35.3. That is pretty much the final here in the Democratic primary. Matt Gaetz rails his opponent 69,000 to 24,000. And it just went up to Gaetz might actually get 70% here. Corey Mills absolutely demolished Anthony Sabenti, endorsed by MTG and Bobert. He gets destroyed by 5th District. Maxwell Frost defeats Randolph Bracey and Al Grayson. In the 13th District, Anna Luna will win by 11 points against Kevin Haslett. And here we go. We got Dana Webster defeats lawyer Laura Loomer by 8 points. Brian Mast wins his race. We're still in for District 22. Carlos Jimenez, Giannis, 73 to 15. Diaz Balart wins 84 to 15. For the 18th, this is Scott Franklin. He wins big. The new by 4 by 86 to 13. That is Florida. Whoa. All right. Is reading out 1,000 votes now. 55-44 here in the 19th district. It is 83% in, 41,451 to 33,000. And Delpia is ahead 25,000, about 25,700 to 21,000. Dante had the counties and he's gone, so I don't know what's going on in the counties. I might go into full details here on the 19th here. Oh, here we go. We got the counties right here. So Ryan is winning right now in Broome County, Columbia County. Ryan is winning. Delaware County, Ryan is winning. Dutchess Monero is barely winning. Greene County, Monero. Montgomery County is Monero. Otsego County is Ryan. Rensselaer County, that is Ryan. Schoharie County, that is Ryan. Pretty good margins for every candidate so far. Columbia County is, I think, the second biggest county versus over than Dutchess. And Dutchess is close. This is 4,451 for Ryan, 4,282 for Monero. 83% in, and it's 10:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, so this is going to be close. Oh, wow. Monero just got a huge bump. He now is closing in on Ryan. There, and he just got a bunch of votes from Dutchess. He is ahead barely still. Monero, Ryan doing very well in Columbia County. Bro, I don't know how long I was muted. I am so sorry. Wow. Oh my goodness. It has dropped to 6. So it's closing in. Yeah. I have to be honest with Democrats here. I don't think there's a path for y'all to win this race. Y'all almost all the votes for this one is up. In the 23rd, Del Pia is still ahead with 75% in. I'm sorry, Democrats, but I just don't see the votes here. We haven't gotten results from Dutchess in 12 minutes. All right, so right now in the 23rd, I have the 19th up, but in the 23rd, the Delapia is ahead by 3,000 votes. Democrats are overperforming in that race. They'll probably overperform in that race, which is good news for Democrats, continuing the Dobbs trend here. So right here, all right. Oh, we just got an update. Ryan expanded his lead. I don't know what came in. Oh, Delaware County. No, it wasn't Delaware. It wasn't Dutchess. It wasn't Green. Montgomery, no. Otsego, no. Not Rensselaer, not Sione. Had to. Oh, yes. It was Ulster County. Ryan expanded his lead. He got more votes there. I'm sorry, I think Democrats don't have the votes here. All right. I'm gonna keep watch through this race all throughout the night. This is just too dang close, folks. We might not have a winner tonight. So I think I'm gonna end the stream here, folks. Thank you everyone for the support on the stream. This is the last one for the month. It will be back tomorrow, next week. I don't know, not this next week, but we'll be back on September 13th for our final primary stream of the season, and then I'll be live again in November for the midterm elections. So let me go over some of the key races. Gates wins by 70 to 25. Mills wins 34-21. This is for the first. Gates wins by 70 to 25. The seventh, Mills wins 34 to 21. Frost in the 10th Democratic wins 34-24. Winnow wins 13th Republican 44 to 44-34. Webster wins 51-44. In New York House 23, the appeal is leading in Oklahoma. Primary Mullen wins. This is a 93% in Mullen. This is six wins with 65-35. Horn in the regular wins 65-35. In the Ethan wins 52-48. And finally, over here in the 20. Oh, wow. Ryan is starting to explode. He's now at the 7,100. He's closing it in Dutchess. All right, so here we go. So I guess we're gonna go for an hour free here because I was about to end the stream, but
We're going for the long haul.
all right. So I was kicked, but before I was kicked, I was joined out. Ryan expanded his lead a little bit. He expanded it to 7,100 votes. Now Molinaro decreased it by about 50 votes.
You know,
Dutch's is 12,300 to 11,900.
how close is this going to be with 82% in? What I will say about this is I expected the Dutchess County to be a little bit better for Molinaro by now. Now, to be clear, Biden won Dutchess County. Delgado won Dutchess County. It's still an overperformance. But I don't know. I think I expected him to get a little better here with 90% in.
Well, it shows 95% here on the CNN. It shows Molinaro
See,
ahead by only 400 votes.
ooh, and there we go.
It's
New York
about
Times.
1,200 to 11,900.
New York Times just dropped a few new votes, and it is 53-47 Pat Ryan.
This is 53.4 to 46.5 here. Yeah. Oh, he leads by 67067.
If Molinaro ends up losing this race, his issue might end up being rural turnout. Some of the rural counties have just not exactly given him, the turnout he might want. Greene County's been fine. That's been punching a bit above its weight. But yeah, if he ends up losing this race, which we still don't know what's going to happen, still a long way to go. I still continue to think he's the slight favorite. But yeah, and of course,
these are the numbers right here for Dutchess.
Ulster has given Pat Ryan a massive boost. He's gotten his home field advantage has been out there, man.
Let's see. This is Ulster right here. Hello, Dante.
Andy, this is an image of two Indian citizens.
Oh no. All right. So
And there, as a few more votes just came in for Ryan. I'm trying to figure out where these votes are coming in from. I think this might have been. And then it just got really close because Delaware County just flipped a massive vote dump. And it is the closest it's been all night. So Delaware County, Trump won. This is Trump won here.
Oh, okay.
Yep, there you go.
It's
Trump won here by about 20, by the way. So it's still a big overperformance for Pat Ryan. Is it enough of an overperformance? I do not know. We're coming down to it, man.
Ryan here is winning by. It is 16,084 exactly.
I've just been told Duchess is about to close, and Molinaro has won it by just over 3%. There might be absentees that still have to come in. This is wild.
And it's a 2-point margin. It's a 2-part margin here in Dutchess on the CNN count. He needed more. He needed to do better here. That has to be honestly.
So I don't know. So I know you're not on Twitter right now, but there have been fake Dave Wasserman accounts popping up and calling it for both people, and professional reporters keep falling for both of them.
Bro, what?
No, Max Delapia.
All right,
Andy, I think the Delapia surge might be over. Oh, he's down to 1 point lead.
And it is. Let's see.
76%. 76% in. I think he still might lose.
Oh wow, yeah.
76% in. I think he might hold it down to single digits. So I got to give him credit for that. That is an overperformance, most likely.
It's 81%. It's a 0.1. It's 0.1 on the NBC one.
Yeah,
just. It's literally 100 of 300, 400 votes.
Yeah, I mean, give him
900
credit.
votes.
Give him credit. I'm sure no one wanted to run in this race. I'm sure they pulled him out of I think he's a party chair somewhere in the county district. I don't know which county, but they probably pulled him out of nowhere. And he's given what he can. This is not a district that Democrats are ever going to win in. So there you go.
And I think its new borders might be mixed in with the new 19.
The new 23? Yeah. These are the old districts for both. Yeah, they might touch.
But I think the new 19.
They might
I
touch.
think the new 19 has, yeah. I think the new 19 has this part of the old 23 in it.
Oh man, the fake Dave
Oh wow,
Wasserman
we
really
just
got
got a dump
people.
from Duchess.
That should be it
Oh
from
wow.
Duchess.
All right,
I think
so
that's
it's
it.
about
That's not enough. That's not
so
quite
it
enough.
ended
He's going to need to get some extra
that
votes.
he wins by just over 800 votes. That is a very bad.
Well,
How
actually, no.
much
With
did
this,
he win by in
there still should be a bit left. I got to say, if Pat Ryan ends up losing, Democrats basically didn't spend any money on this race. I wonder how they feel about that. So
If he
I'm
wins,
just
they
gonna
didn't spend
I'm
any
just gonna
money
put
in
this
this
out here.
race.
They really spent no money on this race. You remember Texas 6 last year, and Democrats basically
Yeah,
didn't do anything for it. It was it should have been a closer seat than it was. It was only like Trump plus 10 or so, and I think Republicans
yeah.
won it by like 25. So I'm gonna withdraw my
Republicans
call
didn't even.
for Moreland Arrow and just say I don't fucking know what's going on anymore, man. I really don't.
No one knows. Like, this is close. Do you remember that Connor Lamb seat from 4 years
Yeah,
ago?
okay, wait. The spreadsheet guy is back. So this is the guy I mentioned earlier who did a spreadsheet break even. Two counties are finished: Dutchess and uh, Stohary. So this guy did margins for each county in a race that was directly tied. Molinaro overperformed in the two counties that are finished by 0.2%. And a district that Biden won by
That is not
1.
enough.
That's not quite enough yet.
That is not enough. Not
This is gonna
enough.
be neck and neck.
Yeah,
Who?
this is so Harry. All right, so Otseko, it's the so we have Monero. He could get some votes here at Otsego County. He could get votes here in Rensselaer. He could get it in Montgomery. He can get some in Greene, Delaware. Oh, Monero is in the lead in Delaware. That is huge.
That's big for him, but that was also a Trump county. So the dead even match out. So here's Delaware, and I don't know if Delaware is complete. It says 54-46. The map that I'm looking on, the break even map, says he needs to win it 60-39.
Whoa.
I'm just
Okay.
telling you what I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. I still don't know who's going to win this race, but it's going to be very close.
It's 53-47 right now.
Okay, so
Monero is behind by 6,000 votes.
the New York Times had it up to 89% reporting. It now says it's 86%. So I don't know what's going on.
CNN has it at 95.
Who knows?
But this is close. If it's
It's making me
so,
think how fun it would have been
Monero
to have.
really.
Oh no, redistrict. Wasserman just stepped in and made a call.
And it is
Max
the
Delapia has lost in New York 23. So at this point, it's
I
all about
feel
the
bad for
final
you. This
march.
was personal for you, dude.
Yeah, this is a tough one, but you know what?
Yeah.
And yet, my you know what? NYT just reported it is a 12 vote difference, but Sem Polensky has the lead. So this is a race where you're going to want to watch the final margin because this is, if this ends up being like single digits, that's not great for Republicans. This is an R plus 15 district. The last R plus 15 district to vote was Nebraska 01. Actually, that one might be even higher. But that ended up being like a 5-point margin in the end. So we'll see what goes on in this district. But the final margin is worth watching because clearly it's not going to be a blowout. I think at this point, this isn't going to be the red district it was.
The Democrats. The Democrats led for almost the whole night there.
69% reporting. So I do think Republicans will end up leading it by pretty comfortably when all is said and done. But the difference between this being single digits and being double digits is going to be absolutely huge. Let me quickly see what 538 has its partisan lean as. .538 lists its partisan lean as R plus 15. Minnesota was R plus 15, and that was a 4-point win for Republicans. So you're looking around there, maybe. Of course, this is a different district, a different place.
Yeah.
And and Kyle Kondik from Sabato's Crystal Ball
All
just
right.
said this would be an overperformance
So
if
I gotta
Minnesota
recharge
won
again.
Wisconsin.
I didn't expect to keep the string going for this a little bit longer.
Well, do you want to keep it going a bit longer, or you want to go to bed? So absentees have like 2 weeks to arrive in New York. So if this is still this close after by the end of the night, we might just not know who's going to win here for hours. Well, I've been told Andy's recharging and he's going to come back. He's going to stick with it. So here we go, folks. If you're wondering about that New York 23 race, again, we're just watching for the final margin. It's a bit over a point now, a percentage point difference now. At the very least, for Democrats in NY23, they can look at here and say, hey, we overperformed. It remains to be seen if it's on the level of what we saw in Nebraska one, where they overperformed by about 12 points, or on the level of, Minnesota one, where they overperformed by about 11. But at the very least, it's going to be closer than it's been said to be. What ended up happening here was Democrats got a massive margin, like dictator level margin in Tompkins County, where Ithaca is. That's the liberal hub. It's definitely going to be closer than 2020 when Trump won the district by 11 points. Yeah, Tompkins County just gave Max Delapia just Assad level margins. Andy is working late tonight. It's 10 p.m. over where he lives, so he's going late. For me, it's still pretty early. I'm a West Coaster, so. For me, it's like 8 p.m. So I'm up here for the long haul, and I'm trying to figure out what is going on here in this district. And I'm just giving you what I know. But right now, 84% reported, according to the New York Times. Of course, that number's been changing all night in both elections. It has Pat Ryan, 52.4%, Mark Molinaro, 47.6%. We will continue to see what happens. Yeah, Tompkins. Right now, Max Delapia is not winning a single other county in the district outside of Tompkins. What a margin that gave him. Obviously, we'll wait and see what ends up happening here. Right now, I'm going to leave that one and fully focus on New York 19. So, as I said earlier, I withdrew my prediction of Molinaro. I never made a projection, I just made a prediction. I just don't know, man. I don't know how many votes are outstanding at the end of the day. And I don't want to say something that I can't say for that I'm at least 99% sure about. So, that's where we're at. We'll see who wins. Haven't gotten any votes in a little bit. We'll see. You know, that poll earlier today that had Molinaro up by 8 at the very least looks like it's going to be pretty darn wrong. And this race just got even closer. 51.7% to 48.3%. Right there. Where did the votes come from? They came from Delaware County. That might be it. I don't quite know. It puts Molinaro up by a little more there, although notably, he still is looking like it still looks like he's going to underperform Trump's margin there. Closer to what he needed, but not quite what he needed. Yeah, so he wins it by about 17.5. Trump got about 18.5 here, so a slight underperformance of Trump, if that's it. Whew. Barn burner. If Mark Molinaro does end up winning this race, you got to give a lot of credit for his personal strength in the district. By all means, this was the strongest recruit Republicans could have put up here. So, yeah. Andy should be back pretty soon. We're going late tonight. Some more votes just came in, but no change in the margin. I don't know where those came in from. Otsego County could end up making or breaking this race. Whew. And that's why I think this race is going to end up going for Molinaro in the end. I could be wrong. But Otsego, which was a Trump county, and was not a deep Trump county, but was a Trump county by about 5 points in 2021, and it's that county that makes me think that that's where this race is going to end. But Ryan still leads by 3.4. Remember, Biden won this district by 1.5, so still votes to go. What a race. Sorry if I'm not talking too much. There's just not much to say while we're waiting for results to come in. So I think the newest votes came from Rensselaer County. I don't know if that's done. If it is done, it is okay. It's not done. Okay. So Molinaro's a little under the benchmark he had there for his break even. So we will see. You have to assume that there are more votes coming in from Molinaro, from Sullivan, and from Otsego. You have to wonder if those are going to be enough. Hey, everybody, we'll be right back. Don't go. very close.
Right.
It's back and forth. Yeah, the Democrats still up, but yeah, it's back and so close. Yeah, but I didn't think he was going to go down by a lot. But either way. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back, and it is doesn't look like we've gotten an update while I was gone. It really might be coming down to Otsego County. Let's talk a bit about this county. In 2020, it voted for Trump 51.3, 46.3. It voted for Trump by exactly 5 points. The break even margin that has been calculated in Otsego for for Molinaro, sorry, a little out of breath, was about 7 points. So the expectation by some people going into this was that he might outperform Trump here. We'll see if that happens. There are other pro GOP votes that are going to come from Sullivan and other such places, but Otsego might come where it comes down to.
All right, yo.
It is
All right, so
it is
here
getting
we go.
wild. It is
All right, so let me
3.4.
pull it up.
Ryan leads by 3.4. For the record, I actually just noticed it's in NY23. Delapia is still down by only 2.6, so we'll see what the final margin ends up being there. That could also end up being pretty close.
All right. So all right. Oh wow. Oh, okay. It's 4,000 votes.
It might all come down to
And it
Otsego
says
County.
99% in here.
It might all come down to Otsego County. I think there are some votes left in Sullivan that should be pro Molinaro, and you're assuming the votes coming in from Otsego are pro Molinaro too. The question is, are they enough votes?
I think there's some votes in Ulster County too.
I think Ulster's done, from what I've heard. And I've just heard that the mules are being pulled in to Otsego.
Right.
I think the Patriots are in control, Andy. Don't worry. So while we wait for this result, while we wait for more votes to come in, should we talk about like the broader implications that this could have on the House? Also, speaking of this, remember that poll I showed you earlier that was Molinaro
All right,
plus
so
8?
here's yeah.
There we go. So yeah, let's talk about the broader implications here of this race. So if Democrats win, or at the very least end up coming as close as they're going to come, as close to winning this, and we assume that this margin kind of holds in NY23 and it ends up being a single digit race, what are the implications for House control at large?
Republicans are still probably going to take the House. No cap. They would only need 3 seats if they win tonight here in the 19th.
At the same time, this is a Biden plus one district. This is the Republicans' best possible recruit in this district. If Democrats win this district, I think that's indicative of at the very least a neutral environment. I have had the House rated as safe R since I think November of 2021 when Youngkin flipped it in Virginia. I think if this were to happen, you would, even if Democrats don't end up winning here, there's just so many data points, and you look at NY23 being close. I almost feel like you have to break the glass and consider likely R for the House at this point. I still think Republicans will
Yeah,
win the
the
House if they do,
House.
but you have to start
The
considering,
question is, in November, will they get 230? They need to get the magic number. I think is 230 for the Republicans this fall. They should be in a good shape for 24 if they get 230. So Duchess is done, it looks like. Am I tripping or is Dante gone? I think Dante. Hello, Dante. I think he had both is ditched. All right. I'll take you through the reactions to the election in New York 23. Wow, that was closer than expected. Close race than expected. Yeah, that it is a close, very close. It was closer than expected. It is currently. I think Dante went to the bathroom, so I'll mute him right quick, folks. So Duchess is done, Broome is done, Columbia's done, Delaware is done. Wow, Montgomery is almost Delaware and Montgomery almost done. Green is almost done. Duchess is done. Otsego is 50% in. Rensselaer is almost done. So Shore Shore High is 80%. Ulster, I think Dante said it was done. Don't know where the votes will come in now. It is 4,100 votes. New York Times says it's 100% complete. Oh, I think Dante's back. Dante, hello. I think I'm. No, I cannot, Dante. Dante now is having audio issues. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm not crazy. It's not my audio. All right. Boom. Oh, Dante, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Otsego dropped.
Oh, yeah, you're back. You're back.
Otsego dropped, and it's 50-50.
All right.
Ryan
So.
stays in the lead. Otsego dropped. We are almost at a
Oh,
vote.
wow. Molnaro's.
Wow. That is.
Molnaro's in the lead there. Molnaro's in the lead.
But
Molnaro's in the
look at the
lead
overall
there.
margin.
But
Look.
it doesn't matter. It looks like Ryan might win this race. I think Ryan might
You
win
can't
this
call it.
race.
This might be it. That might be it. Wow. Yeah, Otsego dropped.
Yeah,
Pat
this might be
Ryan.
it.
Pat Ryan's at 48%. Let me check the presidential margin. Biden got 46. He got what he needed. Wow. You got to wait a little longer, but
He
that's not enough.
overperformed Biden.
That's not enough.
And yeah, I think Pat Ryan just won this race.
I'm not calling it. There's still
I
too
think
many
we're going to call
absentees.
it.
I'm not calling it. Who's we?
What an upset. I'm not calling. I'm not calling it, but this might be
There's
it.
too
I
many
think this
absentees.
is going to be an upset here.
But I'll say this: Pat Ryan is favored now. I would be surprised if he lost now. My Twitter is calling it for Ryan. Wow.
Oh,
So that changed.
goes 100%.
That's it.
I think
He
this
needed
is
more
it.
there. There's still absentees. I've heard there's still some precincts in Ulster. I don't know how true that is.
It might be big year. I think we might be getting the projection very soon. We're going to stay on the air until we do.
Yeah.
Well, until we get at least an indication that we're about to get a projection.
Well, I don't think we're going to get one tonight because there are so many absentees. Now, why did Dr. Ross say that?
What the fuck?
That is. He's down like 10 points. That's not how you come back from.
Eddie.
That's not how you come back. So for those of you who did not know, today Dr. Oz's campaign team said that if John Fetterman had ever eaten a vegetable in his life, he wouldn't have had a stroke.
He just pulled out a pistol and shot himself in the foot again. Bro.
That's another guy.
How many gas has this dude had since getting the nomination?
That fruit plate ended his campaign. Okay, so my entire Twitter is saying it's like over and Pat Ryan has won. I don't know how much I trust my Twitter, but the people who I do trust, the people who I do trust are saying, or even the people I do actually trust are saying it's like he's favored now.
I think it's like 80%, like 95% going to be
so
Ryan.
Pat Ryan wins. Max Delapia overperforms. And I'm just hearing from some people, so Joe Biden won this district by 1.5. I'm hearing from some people that Pat Ryan might win it by more than that. So look,
wow,
we gotta consider the Dobbs decision has clearly changed things. There are too many data points. Nebraska won, Minnesota won, New York 19, New York 23. I mean, New York 23 is still under 3 points. Max Delapia is still like theoretically not lost this race. He has, but theoretically he's still very much in it.
Like he's not winning in November, Delapia, but he just almost caused a huge upset.
The only things that are out remaining are absentees. There are curveballs. Yeah. I think Pat Ryan won it. I don't know if he overperformed Biden, but I think he won it. Wow.
I think we should wait for Wasserman, but
yeah, I'll wait for Dave. But I don't know when he's going to project it because absentees in New York, takes out weeks. DDHQ called it for Ryan.
Yeah, I think this is over. I think this man just thrown him. I think this man just choked, bro. It was up 8 this morning.
Molinaro was the best candidate Republicans could have put up in this race.
It's most likely that he will win in November and flip the seat.
Yeah, his district is way bluer in November. He's running in a different district.
Yeah, I think Molinaro is gonna. Both these people will be in Congress in November.
The Blues, 2000. Patriots in control.
So
okay,
2,000 mils about is it?
Now we're just waiting for We're waiting for Alaska to flip now, right?
If Alaska flips, I think if Alaska flips, Democrats could have a very good chance of keeping the House because Dobbs has changed everything. Like before Dobbs, Myra Flores won her race, and it looks like it was going to be Molinaro, and then
the way I see it, even if Alaska doesn't flip, it's still could be another data point. Like, let's say Begich overtakes Palin and gets second place, but then he only wins by like single digits. That's a data point that suggests Dobbs helped Democrats, right? Yeah. Let's say Patola gets over 40% out of the first round just outright. She gets over 40%. That's a data point for Democrats. You cannot. Eventually, there's too many data points.
It has to be Dobbs because
it's Dobbs. Like, and there's other things.
Before Dobbs.
I know we've been talking about how good a candidate Molinaro was for this district. Give Pat Ryan his credit. I mean, clearly, look at the margin he got in Ulster. Clearly, this guy was a serious candidate. This isn't some joke like what happened in Texas 6. At the same time, I mean, Republicans outspent him. Molinaro was supposed to be this elite candidate. Pat Ryan was this guy who was running in a different district. The polls had Molinaro up by 8 when we saw him earlier today. I mean, there you go.
I'm gonna check up on the 23rd because.
So it's a 4-point race.
Oh
right
wow!
Now. Oh, it's like 4.2. So it's
Yeah,
not going to be like a Minnesota level
and
overperformance.
NBC just called it, and NBC just called it for Ryan.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so NY23, it's not going to be like Minnesota 1 level. It might even be more than 5 points, which was NU01. But I don't know, man. For such a red district, it's going to be closer than what Trump won it by. I think Trump won it by like 11 in 2020. It's going to be closer than that. And there you go. You have to feel that if this was wasn't like
I
a
think
safe district, but you almost feel like if this wasn't like a deep red district and was just like likely R or something, Democrats might have flipped NY23. But I don't know. There's still okay. So it's saying there's over
Oh, that is
95% in. New York Times just said there's over 95% in from NY23, and the final margin, if it holds, 52.6 minus 47.4. That's just over 5 points. That's basically like Nebraska won.
CNN just called it. CNN just called it. CNN just called this race.
Okay, well,
it is Pat Ryan. He will be going to Congress.
And there you go. And so will Joe Sempolinski.
Wow.
So a big overperformance for Democrats in NY23.
Wow.
A win in NY19, and I think we're comfortable saying that this political environment has changed. This is not what it was pre-Dobbs. This is not what it was in Virginia of 2021. This is different.
Imagine if Dobbs was decided like in November.
Oh yeah, that would have been crazy. Well, if you want to look at a comparison to me for Dobbs, I think about the Kavanaugh stuff in 2018. A lot of Democratic senators in red states have gone out on record then, like Heidi Heitkamp and Joe Donnelly and Claire McCaskill, and said that they were leading in their internals before Kavanaugh came onto the scene. And after everything that went down, he really hurt them. So, anything can happen.
Yeah, they ended up losing.
Decision Desk HQ had to. This is probably the biggest point of what happened tonight. DDHQ projected it for Pat Ryan before they projected it for Joe Sempolinski in NY23.
Oh wow! I'm going to see if Wasserman has called it because
Wasserman called it.
And yep, he has just called it. Yep, wow. He just called it 10 seconds ago. Wow. The night's over. Democrats just pulled out like the upset of the year here.
Well, I think maybe we should shut down the stream quick now because I know there's a lot to discuss, but I have to go to the bathroom again. My phone's about to die. I will see you soon, Andy. It was a fun stream.
Yeah, I gotta go bed.
I'll see you again for September 13th.
Yeah, thanks.
Should be my last of the year, but
yes. Yep.
See you around.
See you around. Wow. All right, here's my thoughts. This is a whole new race. This just proves that this is a whole new race here. The House is far from decided, folks. It looked like coming in, the Republicans were going to pick up this race and have needed only 3 seats. Now they will not. They will not have. They now still need 4. They still need a net gain of 4 to gain the House in November. But this has to be a turning point because here's the thing. I know you guys might want to get off now, but here's the thing. New York 23, Dobbs, it was Dobbs to Nebraska. Democrat lost by 7. Minnesota, Democrat lost by 4. New York 23. The Democrat is only behind by 4, and could only be is behind by 3 and growing, but it's still a huge. Uh, it's still a pretty small margin. It's a lean margin. The Democrats just upsetted Molinaro in New York 19. That prevented a pickup. You see, Alaska might go to the Democrats if Palin wins, and Vegas voters mostly go to the Democrats. We have a whole new election. This is no longer, oh, it's going to be red wave. Dobbs changed things. The Democrats are favored in the Senate. The Republicans went from having an 87% chance of taking the House to a 77% chance of taking the House. Democrats have momentum right now. I think they're probably not. Let's see if they're not. Let's see if they continue to have it. And that's my take. Thank you for watching the stream. Peace out.